Good morning, students. Today, go for discussing very important concept as far as data analysis is concerned. We are already aware that what do you mean by inferential statistics and as well as the two very important wings of the inferential statistics. Inferential statistics means which gives information about the population. Population means group of people or group of articles with life or without life on which you are conducting any statistical investigation. So under inferential statistics, theory of estimation is there and as well as testing of hypothesis is there. Theory of estimation or else estimation theory. So under estimation theory, what you came to know, what do you mean by estimator? Nothing but the formula. Estimate, nothing but the answer. So to use estimator to get the estimate, this procedure is known as the estimation. Again, if you get the single answer, you call that one as point estimator. If you get the answer in between two limits, you call that process as interval estimation. And also we came to know that the criteria of a good estimator, the good formula, properties of a good formula like unbiasedness, consistency, efficiency, sufficiency. So this is very important question. Explain about the properties of good estimator or else the criteria of a good estimator. Now today we go for discussing one more wing of that inferential statistics under unit 4, that is under the data analysis, which is nothing but the testing of hypothesis or else tests of significance. So what do you mean by testing of hypothesis or the tests of significance? So here hypothesis means what? Hypothesis is nothing but it's a verbal information about any population on which you are conducting any statistical investigation. Technically you call that one as a proposition, opinion, your expectation. So generally, for example, if you take in India, out of 10 cars, you will find almost 7 to 8 cars of Maruti company cars. So by looking at population of the cars on the roads, so even a common man, a layman also says that the Maruti cars are good cars. So if you assume all Maruti cars as a population, then giving opinion all Maruti cars are good cars. Maruti cars are good cars. What you call that? Hypothesis. Same way, let us take the current example. So what is that? So as you all know very well, so government of India forcing all citizens of our country to have jabs of what you call the different medicines, vaccination. COVID is there. So because of that COVID, different kinds of what we call medicines are available. Like Covishield is there, Covaxin is there. So here you can compare whether the Covaxin is more powerful than Covishield, or else comparatively these to any other company what we called Sputnik from Russia also one what I can say one vaccination released into the market. So that Sputnik company's vaccine is more powerful than Covishield or else what we call Covaxin. So such a way, giving the general statement about the population is known as the hypothesis. So whether the hypothesis is correct or not, whether that statement is correct or not, finally you want to test and you need to identify that. All that procedure is known as a testing of hypothesis. Okay. So So such a way, if you lead to identify whether that opinion, that verbal statement, that hypothesis is correct or not, is known as the testing of the hypothesis. Same with these procedures can also be called by one more name, what you call that, the tests of significance. Both are same, both conveys same, what you call the tools, same techniques. Then why actually you call these methods as the tests of significance? Because through these methods you are going to identify, is there any significance difference between two populations, or else is there any significance difference between a population and as well as a sample? If you find significance difference is there, what happens? Based upon that, you are going to accept the framed statement, what you call it, the hypothesis. Sometimes you need to reject, I mean to say, you are denying the statement. That's why these methods known as by one more name, the tests of significance. Now suppose, here if you see, there are two circles are there, isn't it? The circle C here, suppose the circle C represents city Chennai or Chennai city. Now here the circle H represents Hyderabad city. So let us suppose that one investigation is what you call going on for a particular company. So a famous electronic company, let us suppose LG company, wants to find out whether the LG company televisions are having more sales in city Chennai or else what you call the city Hyderabad. Understand? So let us suppose that here from this what you call city Chennai, okay, they collected, let us suppose that, now if you see here regarding LG color televisions, from the Chennai city, let us suppose that the sample has been collected 1000 customers. So what is the notation here? N1. So first city sample size is N1. So out of these 1000 people randomly inquired, how many of them purchased the color television? 600. Understand? That is X1. So this is X1. Okay. So what is X1? 600. Same way, the same company through its marketing department collected, sample from Hyderabad also. They inquired from the customers. So what is the sample size here? N2, 1200. Okay. Now X2, how much here? How many of them actually out of 1200 purchased the LG color television? 700. Understand? Now the test of significance means here whether the Chennai city and Hyderabad city are going to use, are going to purchase what you call the LG color televisions in a same way, in a same proportion or not. If both are purchasing in a same proportion, what you can say? Yes, both in Chennai and Hyderabad the LG company is doing same business. If at all any differences arises, then what you can say? No, both cities are what you called not doing the same kind of business. So here also comparison will arise. So here what you can say different ways, either Chennai city is what you call doing more business or else Hyderabad city doing more business. Such a way, identification of the significance information is possible. Hence, these techniques are known as the tests of significance. So, under tests of significance, what is happening? You are going to compare two populations for the significance difference. Understand? So, here, what are the two populations? The consumers or the customers of the city Chennai and as well as the customers of the city Hyderabad. That means you are comparing two populations, or else Sometimes what happens within Hyderabad, let us suppose that you are going to perform what you call within the Hyderabad, the sales of that particular company color televisions. So what you are going to do here? Here too, you can conduct one statistical investigation. So here, if you observe in the city of Hyderabad, from Mehdipatnam, let us suppose that you collected a sample and you are comparing with the entire Hyderabad city, whether that LG company is making same business in entire Hyderabad region with respect to all the what you call various locations. Now here what you are doing within the population, I mean to say sample and population comparison you are doing. If you observe this situation, you are comparing two populations, Chennai city and as well as the Hyderabad city. Such a way, under tests of significance, based upon the situation, sometimes you need to compare the populations, sometimes you are comparing population and as well as the sample. For identification of what you call the significance difference, that word is very, very important. What is significance? So generally for significance, what you can say, let us suppose that in rupees 100, if you lost 1 rupee or 2 rupees, understand? That is a negligible amount. You need not to weep. But if you lost out of 100 rupees, 50 rupees, that 50 rupees is going to be considered as a significant value, a considerable value. So negligible, significant. These things are very, very important. So that means while you are conducting a test of significance, you are going to identify, is there any significance difference, is there any affective difference as far as what you call the hypothesis consideration is concerned. This is what actually testing of hypothesis means. So under testing of hypothesis, what you are doing? You are framing one statement, you are giving one proposition, you are giving opinion about the population, and whether that opinion is correct or not, you are going to test by using all the statistical procedures. Okay, now let us see the slide here. So tests of hypothesis measures the correctness of what you call the set hypothesis. Comparatively any other, medicine, vaccination for COVID, Covishield is the best vaccination. Covishield is the best vaccination. So what do you call that opinion? Whether that is correct or not, the medical people will take up that. Understand? They will collect the information from what you call people who had before that vaccination, their performance. Understand? Based upon that information, finally they decide. Tata companies, four-wheelers are quality four-wheelers. It's nothing but you are opining, you are giving opinion about entire Tata company's four-wheelers. That is correct or not can be tested by using a testing of hypothesis. Same way, let us take what you call your known very well important gadget to all of you, cell phones. Apple cell phones are unbeatable phones on this world, isn't it, as far as quality is concerned. It's a statement, it's an opinion. So regarding that, various aspects of the data will be collected and finally result can be produced. So what do you call this? The tests of significance. Same here, what is that one more point? The test of significance is a statistical technique used to know the cause of difference between theory and practice. So what is the theory here? Just giving mere opinion. Whether that opinion is correct or not, how you are going to prove after empirically collecting the data. Understand? That's why what is this? The cause of difference between theory and the practice. So, under the tests of hypothesis or test for significance is concerned, the first thing is hypothesis. So, what is a hypothesis? It's a verbal statement Verbal statement means in terms of words you are framing. Okay. So Hyderabad is a historically famous city. It's a verbal statement. There are so many other competitive cities are there in India. Understand? So you need to give some ratings based upon few norms. So here what is that? Definition says you, a hypothesis is a proposition which can put to test to determine its validity. What is the proposition? Your opinion. So generally, based on the opinion only, all inquiry will start. Investigation will start. Tupperware, plastic bottles are tough enough, unbreakable. So how to prove that? You take the competitors. You take other competitor company bottles. You test their toughness by subjecting them to various tests. Understand? And finally, you can prove that whether the what you call as per company saying, Tupperware company, produces quality water bottles or not. Such a way, for any kind of product, anywhere what is required, these tests of significance methods are important to what you call proves various kinds of established statements. So what is the next point? A hypothesis is a tentative generalization, the validity of which remains to be tested. So generalization means time being we are going to provide an opinion. Whether that is correct or not, finally we are going to prove. So as far as the hypotheses are concerned, there are very, very important two types of hypotheses are there. So what are those two types of hypotheses? One is called the null hypothesis. One more is called the alternative hypothesis. Besides these two hypotheses, there are so many other types are all there, but these two are very, very important. So while you are going for understanding about the testing of hypothesis, understanding about the null hypothesis and alternative hypothesis are so important. Then what do you mean a null hypothesis? All of you look at here. So hypothesis means it's a verbal information or the proposition about the population. Now there are two types of hypothesis. So first step when you go for conducting tests of significance or the tests of hypothesis, you need to frame these two statements or these two hypotheses. The first one is called as the null hypothesis. So as you all know that in the mathematics, null means zero. If there is a zero difference between population 1 and population 2, or else if there is a zero difference between population and as well as the sample, then you can say notationally in terms of what we call notations, H naught. What do you mean by having a zero difference means there is no difference at all. That's why whenever you go for framing the null hypothesis, what you are going to do, you are going to show that verbal information in terms of the notations, what is that is equal to. So what is the sign here? Is equal to. So then how do you define the null hypothesis? Hypothesis of no difference is known as the null hypothesis. No difference means difference generally you find minimum to minimum two parties, between two parties, that means two populations. Chennai city, Hyderabad city, in both the cities let us suppose that the LG color television or the LG company is making or doing same business, what you can say, the average sales in both the cities are equal. That average of the population, how do you define? Average in the sense mean. We already came to in the previous lecture. In the sampling theory, notations are going to be different. The average of the first population, you are going to represent by means of mu 1. 1 represents population 1. So one more population mean is what? Mu 2. So both are equal. So what do you call this? This is known as a null hypothesis, H naught. Strictly speaking, the forming of the null hypothesis in terms of the notations. So after writing the notation form, immediately you need to write the sentence also in terms of words, verbal statement. So how do you write here? In both Chennai city and as well as the Hyderabad city, on an average, the LG company regarding color televisions are concerned doing same business. Or else, in both Chennai and Hyderabad, same number of customers purchasing LG color television. All are same only, understand? So what do you call that? The define the null hypothesis in terms of the verbal information. So after null hypothesis, one more very important statement you need to write. What do you call that? Alternative hypothesis. So what is that? H1. So what is that symbol? H1. In few textbooks, the alternative hypothesis is also represented by HA. So here A in suffix form, understand? Below the H. Side and as well as below the H. So both are considerable notations, H1 and as well as the HA. But I follow H1 notation, understand? So what do you mean by alternative hypothesis? So most of the time, the alternative hypothesis is going to be negation statement to the null hypothesis. Most of the times. I am not saying 100 out of 100. Because sometimes you need to produce the comparative statements also. So what is the exact negation statement, opposite statement to the null hypothesis? Here is equal to is there, it becomes not equal to, that's it. Same notation, H1, okay, colon dash, and it's not the semicolon is different, colon is different. Colon means two dots, one after the other, top to bottom, understand? So H1 colon dash mu1 is not equal to mu2. So this is called one of the forms of the alternative hypothesis for this null hypothesis. There are other forms are there. What is that? This way also you can write the null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis. So what's happening here? H1 mu1 greater than mu2. That's all. Next, H1 mu1 less than mu2. One more statement. Or else, if you want, you can write H1 mu1 greater than or equal to mu2. What is that? One more alternative hypothesis. H1 mu1 less than or equal to mu2. Like that, here how many statements we framed? 5 statements. So that means always the null hypothesis is going to be unique and say most of the times equal to. But based upon the problem, alternative hypothesis is going to have the different what we call the notations. How you are going to identify that? Based upon the question sentence of the given problem. While doing the problem, you will come to know. Always null hypothesis is unique. But the alternative hypothesis is going to change. Okay? So, what we are discussing? We are discussing about the testing of hypothesis. So, when you go for the testing of hypothesis, the first thing you need to do is, you need to create 2 statements. Those 2 statements you are calling as the null hypothesis. The first one is called those 2 statements you are calling as a hypothesis. The first one is known as the null hypothesis. The second one is known as the alternative hypothesis. So immediately after writing the notation form, you need to write in terms of the words also. Remember that just for writing correct way these 2 hypotheses, you will be awarded 3 to 4 marks. That is the importance of the what you call null hypothesis and the alternative hypothesis. Because if you commit mistake in these 2 statements, entire decision making, entire problem is going to be wrong. That's why you have to be very careful, okay, while framing the null hypothesis and as well as the alternative hypothesis. So then what do you mean null hypothesis? Hypothesis of no difference is known as the null hypothesis. Then what do you mean alternative hypothesis? It's a negation statement to the null hypothesis. Okay? Then truly if you think, the one more purpose of the alternative hypothesis is that through the alternative hypothesis only we are going to identify whether the test is one-tailed test or two-tailed test. Again, the two new words I am using here, one-tailed test, two-tailed test. We will discuss that in the upcoming slides. So till now what we discussed, let us see those definitions. So here, what do you mean null and alternate hypothesis? A null hypothesis, see the method, the way I wrote the null hypothesis, n-h. So like that only you need to practice. Null hypothesis assumes as there is no significance difference between two values as population means population proportions. So in a single way, how we can write the null hypothesis? Hypothesis of no difference. So a hypothesis that differs from null hypothesis is known as the alternative hypothesis. So whatever null hypothesis uses, contrary statement if you provides, different statement if you provides, that becomes what you call alternative hypothesis. So in simple words, what do you mean by that? A rivalry statement to null hypothesis. So what is the notation for null hypothesis? H naught colon dash. What is the notation for alternate hypothesis? H1 colon dash. Not semicolon, colon. Or else HA colon dash. That's all. Okay. Now we go for discussing one more very important discussion, very important information as far as what we call a decision making is concerned. Understand? So, while discussing the testing of hypothesis, the final conclusion would be either you are going to accept the null hypothesis or you are going to what you call accept the alternative hypothesis. That is your solution. Both Chennai and as well as the Hyderabad city customers, preferring LG color televisions if you accept the null hypothesis. There is a difference between Chennai and as well as the Hyderabad as far as what you call the color television preference is concerned. What you call the alternative hypothesis. So finally, the conclusion of any testing procedure, tests of hypothesis procedure is either to accept the null hypothesis or else what you call accept the alternative hypothesis. But remember that while doing all this what you call exercise, there is a chance of committing mistakes also. So whenever mistakes are going to happen, you need to stop those mistakes not to happen. If you allow to continue the mistakes, what happens? The decision making is what you call going to be improper. So what you call those mistakes in the statistics you call as the errors. So in the statistics, what is happening most of the times, you are going to control, you are going to minimize. It's not possible to what you called make the errors into zero. As much as possible to minimize those errors, those mistakes near to zero. Understand? So what are those two variety kinds of mistakes you are going to perform? Understand? So that you are going to discuss. What you call technically in this test of significance, two types of errors. So overall way, when you are performing tests of significance, you are going to provide 4 statements or 4 results. In those 4 results, 2 are going to be correct results. 2 are going to be what you call incorrect results. I mean to say errors. Understand? So that's why you are controlling those errors. So based upon the controlling that errors, you are going to take the correct decisions. This is called the testing of hypothesis procedure. So let us see this table and yourself you identify what are correct decisions, what are wrong decisions. Now here, while testing of hypothesis procedure is happening, your main focus will be on the leader only. In a what you call a meeting, what will be there? Most of the people will be observing what is happening on the stage, because on the stage who will be there, speaker would be there, leaders would be there. Same in entire testing procedure, your focus would be on the main statement. So what is the main statement here? The null hypothesis, H naught. Whether to accept the null hypothesis or to reject the null hypothesis. Based upon that, you are going to commit, you are going to have 2 correct decisions, 2 what you called wrong decisions. What are those? So let us see this table format. So here, in this column, if you observe what you call the decisions, what you are going to perform. So in this row, if you see what is the actual reality, and you are clubbing what you call in a crossway. So let us see here. H naught is accepted. H naught is accepted when H naught is true. H naught is accepted when H naught is true. What do you mean by that? So you created that what you called H naught is true, and you are finally, after performing all the what you call data analysis, you too accepted H naught as the correct. Such a way, making the decision, logically you think it is going to be the correct decision. Understand? So when really H naught is true, and by doing all the statistical data analysis, you also proved that H naught as correct. So such a way of taking the decision, what you are calling as the correct decision. Let us go what you called this cells. This you are comparing. Originally, H naught is false, but you committed what you called a mistake, and finally you proved that H naught as the correct. Understand? So based upon that, what you are doing, you are what you call accepting that null hypothesis, which is actually wrong one, incorrect one. Such a way, making the decision is known as the mistake or else the error. That error ranked as the 1. So that ranked 1 is known as a type 1 error. I'll tell you why actually this mistake has ranked as 1. Okay. Now let us go to comparison of other cells. This side and this side. Actually the H naught is true. But through your what you call the sampling methods, so you have proved that H naught is incorrect. I mean to say you what you called, you rejected the H naught. Then this kind of what you called decision is also going to be considered as wrong decision only. So what you call these? The type 2. The type 2 mistake or the type 2 error. Technically what you call that? The type 2 error. Let us compare the lost cell, this cell and this cell. So you have framed the statement as H naught is false. And finally, after taking the data and after analyzing the data by using statistical formula, you identify that yes, H naught is false, hence you rejected the H naught. So H naught is false and also you rejected that H naught. So what is this decision is known as the correct decision. Hence, so what is the output? Output of these two cells comparison, correct decision. So here if you observe this table format, so there are 4 statements or 4 decisions you are going to make. Out of these 4 decisions, 2 are correct decisions, 2 are incorrect decisions. Those incorrect decisions you are ranked as type 1 and type 2. Understand? So, while performing the test of significance, you are controlling or minimizing the type 1 and as well as the type 2 errors. Based upon that, you are going to have the correct decisions. This form or else this form. Understand? So these 2 incorrect decisions, what you are calling as a type 1 error or else the type 2 error. This is a very, very important definition. Define type 1 error. Okay. What do you mean type 1 error? Accepting the null hypothesis when null hypothesis is incorrect, or else when the null hypothesis is false, is known as the type 1 error. Okay. Then what do you mean by type 2 error? Define type 2 error. It is also very, very important definition for short answer questions. Rejection of the null hypothesis when actually the null hypothesis is correct is known as a type 2 error. Okay. The probability of type 1 error is known as the LOS, level of significance. One more definition, one more word I gave you now. Define LOS, probability of the type 1 error. What do you mean by that? Probability of accepting the null hypothesis when it is false is known as a type 1 error, which is represented by means of alpha. Very, very important. In the next slide we have same way. What do you mean by type 2 error? So what do you mean by type 2 error? Rejection of the null hypothesis when it is correct, which is represented by a Greek letter beta. Alpha is known as the LOS, but directly beta will not be considered as a valid one, but 1 minus beta is considered as the power of the test. See, 2 informations are very, very important here. So alpha means LOS, 1 minus beta is known as the the power of the test. The alpha and 1 minus beta values are going to be prefixed when the tests of significance are concerned. And simultaneously prefixing 1 minus beta and as well as alpha is going to be very, very difficult. That's why the type 2 error will be fixed and the exercise will start on controlling the type 1 error. That is alpha percentage at 5%, 10%, 1%. Understand? So keeping alpha as 5%, take the decision. Question will be there. So what do you mean by 5% alpha means? Out of 100% you subtract 5%. How do you get? How much you get? 95%. That means the decision whatever you are going to conclude finally, it is going to be correct for 95%. Let us suppose that the alpha is 10%. What do you mean by that? So 100 minus 10, nothing but for the 90%, the decision making is going to be correct. Simply 1%. What do you mean by that? 99% your decision making is going to be correct. Most of the times, as far as the business decisions are concerned, 5%, 10% LOS will be prefixed. But as far as the medical situations are concerned, drugs are concerned, injections are concerned, the scientists are going to be perfect for 1% LOS because drugs are going to be life-saving. Okay, so this is the way the tests of significance will go ahead. So let us go for the next slide. So this is very, very important discussion. Explain about the types of errors. So you need to frame the table format like this. So you need to write all the 4 decisions. Out of these 4 decisions, 2 are correct decisions, 2 are incorrect decisions. So those incorrect decisions you are assuming as the type 1 and type 2. So let us go to the next slide. So type 1 error. So what is that statement? Rejection of H0 when H0 is true is called as a type 1 error. Here H0 means null hypothesis. Probability of type 1 error is called as a LOS. Just now I told you. LOS stands for level of significance. So how do you represent the level of significance? By means of alpha. It's a Greek notation, alpha. So what are other names for type 1 error? So in business terms, the type 1 error can also be known as a producer's risk. In general terms, the type 1 error is also known as an unjust rejection. Why you call this type 1 error as a producer's risk? Let us suppose that a company's owner is there. Okay, let us suppose that he produces fans. So while producing the fans, he actually employs quality workers. He invested in quality machinery. He even purchased very much quality kind raw material. Everything state-of-the-art methods he has used. He released almost 1,000 fans into the market. Let us suppose that out of these 1,000 fans, 2 fans not work properly. And immediately, customers started giving opinion that XYZ company's fans are not quality enough fans. So by that, who is going to lose here? The producer. Because always some element of error will be there. Some element of uncontrollable error would be there. Any situation you consider. So out of 1,000 fans, only 2 fans not working means negligible. But still what is happening? That particular company created a negativity in the market. Because of that, the entire sales of those fans came down. Finally, who is going to lose? That particular company's owner, that particular company's producer of the fans. Hence, this error is known as the producer's risk. More effective error. If you compare type 1 and type 2 errors, the type 1 error is going to be more effective. Hence, this error rated as number 1 error. Negatively number 1. Okay. Now let us go for one more slide. So accepting the null hypothesis, that is H0, when it is false, is called as the type 2 error. The probability of type 2 error is denoted by beta. What is that Greek letter? Beta. 1 minus beta is known as the power of the test. Already explained you. So 1 minus beta is known as the power of the test. So while testing of hypothesis conducted, the 1 minus beta value is going to be maintained constant, and what you call alpha value is going to be varied, like 1%, 5%, 10% like that. Then only the tests of significance procedures effectively can be completed. So what are other names for type 2 error? Unjust acceptance. So what is that? Justice here. Unjust means not justified. So unjust acceptance, or else in business terms, what is the one more name for type 2 error? Consumer risk. So what to call this? The consumer risk. Let us take the same example. One more company, using cheap quality raw material, cheap machinery, poorly skilled laborers work to manufacture those fans. 1,000 fans they released into the market, and let us suppose that what you call most of the fans were working 50 or more percentage, but still somewhere some point of time what happens, the fans are going to give trouble. Understand? So here who are going to be in risk? Producer or the consumer? Consumer is going to be at risk. This is what actually happening in the market. So most of the times, so what is happening? The businessmen losing their what you called ethical practice. So cheap quality kind of services or products they are dumping into the market. So we are experiencing this type 2 error in the market. Okay? It's very, very important discussion. So till now what we came to know, 2 types of errors. So type 1 error and as well as the type 2 error. Now we go for what are the actual steps, what are the actual procedure to take up the testing of hypothesis. So whenever a problem is given to you, so these steps you need to follow. Even this is a very, very important question. Explain various steps while applying what you call the tests of significance procedure or the testing of hypothesis. So what is the step 1? Step 1 is set up the hypothesis. So null hypothesis, alternative hypothesis you need to write. H0 in terms of notations, in terms of the verbal statement. Same way alternative hypothesis, H1 in terms of the notations, in terms of verbal statement. That's over. The next one is collect the sample data. No, here actually you need not to collect the sample data. The information will be provided in the problem itself. Like n size, p size, isn't it? In x bar or x1 bar, x2 bar, all the standard deviation values, all this information will be provided. Next, selection of the appropriate test statistic. Now we are going to perform various tests, like test for single mean, test for double mean, test for what you call standard deviation, comparison of the standard deviation, extension of what you call the means like ANOVA. Understand? So whatever values given in the problem, so we are substituting in this formula. The technical word for the formula is test statistic. So 4 or 5 formulas you are going to get, that you need to by heart. Without those formulae in your fingertips, better not to prepare this test of significance. Very, very easy procedure, but you need to focus. The very, very important next step. LOS and critical values. Understand? LOS stands for level of significance, and critical values means based upon that alpha value, that is 5%, 10%, 1%. Table values you need to read out from the statistical table, just like our normal table values. Okay? Sometimes in the problem itself they provide critical values also. So directly substituting those values and you will get wanted numerical information. So that is the next step. And the final step, decision making. This is very, very important. So when you are going to accept the null hypothesis, whenever the ZC means the calculated value of Z is less than or equal to ZT means the Z value of the statistical table values. So in this situation, you assume null hypothesis as correct. But if ZC, modulus of ZC, what do you mean modulus? Though negative values comes, we assume as a positive values only. Hence we are, keeping that symbol, modulus, 2 parallel bars side by side. So greater than or equal to ZT, in this situation, what you can say? We can say that we can reject the null hypothesis. So what is this Z? This Z is nothing but the normal distribution, standard normal distribution. We already discussed elaborately. So what is that standard normal distribution? X minus mu by sigma. So entire testing of hypothesis depends upon the normal distribution only. You call that Z formula, Z statistic. So Z statistic here is nothing but the standard normal distribution formula. So after discussing steps under testing of hypothesis, next we go for discussing few more very important definitions, because there will be a chance of asking these definitions. What are those? The critical region. The region of rejection under the curve of the sampling distribution of the test statistic. Test statistic means formula is called as the critical region. So as you all know that all this testing procedure is based upon the normal distribution. I mean to say what you call, when you collect all statistical values for means, variances, and if you create a graph, you are going to get a bell-shaped curve. Understand? So under this bell-shaped curve, let us see here. So what is there? The calculated values. The calculated value is going to fall this side or this side. So this shaded region is known as the what you call the critical region or the rejection region. What to call this? One more name, rejection region. If any value lies in this particular zone, in this particular area, so you say that you are going to reject the null hypothesis. Unlike to this, the values falls in this plain area, what you call this acceptance region, then you are assuming that the null hypothesis as correct. Understand? So what you call this? The critical region. So region of rejection under the sampling distribution curve is known as what you call the critical region. The one more area which not belong to region of rejection, what you are calling as the acceptance region or else the non-rejection region. What you call the critical region and as well as the acceptance region. Same way, if this region of rejection actually partition on either side of the curve, on two tails of the curve. This is one tail, that is left hand side. This is one more tail, that is on the right hand side. So what you call that? It is considered as a two-tailed test. Two-tailed test. If this rejection region only lies in any one of the directions, either in the left hand side direction or else in the right hand side direction, you call that one as the one-tailed test. Strictly speaking, if that area lies only in the left hand side, you call this one as a left tail test. If that lies only on the right hand side, you are calling as the right tail test. This is very important conclusion. How do you find in the problem in the beginning itself whether the problem is of two-tailed test or one-tailed test, which is based upon the notation format of the alternative hypothesis. That's what I told you. The alternative hypothesis is so important. If the notational format of the alternative hypothesis developed by using less than, greater than, less than or equal to, greater than or equal, like what you call inequality comparisons, then what you can say that kind of alternative hypothesis represents one-tailed test. If the alternative hypothesis framed exactly by using not equal to sign, you call that one as a two-tailed test. Okay? Hence, the alternative hypothesis is so important, because while reading the critical values for two-tailed tables and one-tailed table, values are going to be differ. Incorrect values, if you substitute, you are going to make wrong decisions, incorrect decision. That's why beforehand before reading out the table values, you should come to a conclusion that the given problem falls under a two-tailed test or else a one-tailed test. Okay. So let us see this graph. See what is that? This is truly in the right hand side. So right-tailed test. This is left-tailed test. See the symbol for the right-tailed test greater than. For the left-tailed test, what is this? Less than symbol is there. For two-tailed test, so what is the sign exactly? Not equal to. Okay. Let us observe the actual verbal definitions about these discussions. So critical region. The region of rejection under the curve of sampling distribution of the test statistic is called as the critical region. Next definition. The two-tailed test. The test based on critical region, which divides it into two equal parts on either side of the curve, on both the ends of the curve, left side and as well as the right side. On either side of the curve is called as the two-tailed test. One-tailed test. The test based on critical region, which lies towards only one side, either right end or left end of the curve, is called as one-tailed test. If that area is only in right side, is known as the right-tailed test. If that is in the left side, that you are calling as a left-tailed test. Okay. Now we go for what you call the actual problematic part. What is that? The two variety kinds of testing procedures what you are going to perform. The testing of hypothesis or the tests of significance, divided into two kinds of tests. One type of tests are known as a large sample tests. One more type of tests are known as a small sample tests. If the sample size is 30 and more than 30, you call all those samples are known as the large samples. Let us suppose that out of given 500 students, if you want to identify who are, the students which will be considered as, first rankers, I mean to say first grade students. So for identifying that out of these 500 students, let us suppose that you selected 31 students and you ask those 31 students to take few kinds of tests to identify their intelligence level. So there the number 31 is more than 30, hence that sample is known as the large sample. 30 also is a large sample. Like 30 and above 30, whatever may be the size of the sample, you call that one as the large sample. So all the tests which are based upon the large sample are known as the large sample tests. But remember that in the statistics, the large samples always forms into a bell-shaped curve. It's based upon the central limit theorem, that is beyond your level. Okay. So hence, whatever the large sample test is there, the test statistics what you are going to use is nothing but the normal distribution test statistic. Strictly speaking, standard normal distribution, Z value. Instead of taking 31 students, let us suppose you consider only 29 students. And you are performing few kinds of tests on this particular 29 students. Now here the 29 is less than 30. Hence the 29 considered as a small sample. The tests which are based upon the small sample are known as the small sample tests. But the very, very important point here, while you are going for small sample tests, you cannot apply directly the large sample. I mean to say the normal distribution formula. But you are going to apply T distribution, F distribution, chi-square distribution. These distributions actually developed from normal distribution only. Okay. So here you are going to take into consideration the degrees of freedom, all these things. So this is what actually two types of tests. One is called the large sample test, one more is called the small sample test. The tests of significance again subdivided into two types of tests, large sample test and as well as the small sample test. Okay. So these are the critical values you need to by heart. So for the two-tailed test, 1% critical value is what? 2.58, like 5% 1.96. Same for one-tailed test, 5% critical value is 1.645. Such a way these are all the fixed values. Okay. So these are the large sample tests what you are going to perform from next class onwards. So how many tests you got? 4 tests, 4 large sample tests. What is that? The first one is test for mean of the population, test for equality of two population means, test for population proportion, test for equality, test for equality of two population proportions. So how many tests you are going to perform under large sample test? 4 tests. Besides that, there are so many other tests are there. These tests according to your syllabus. So this is the end of the session. So what we discussed about the tests of significance, about 2 errors in general, what you are going to perform while considering null hypothesis. What are those? Type 1 error, type 2 error, and also we came to know a few very important definitions like critical region, a two-tailed test, one-tailed test, and testing procedure, large sample test and as well as the small sample test. Okay. What I request you, this is somewhat lengthy video, so in terms of parts, better to watch and be careful. You are going to have the exams in the month of last week of October itself. Hence I sincerely advise you all regularly, so after following fixed schedule you start watching the videos, otherwise it's very difficult. So wishing you all of you good luck. Thank you so much. We consider rest of the things in the next class. Thank you.